Hello, interdisciplinarians. Welcome to another professional podcast. My name is Ansh Shah, and I'm talking with Janhvi Dubey. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Janhvi. I am a junior at Georgia Tech and I'm studying biomedical engineering.
So, how did you get into the biomedical engineering field, and what made you interested?
So, I was really interested in medicine since I was very young. I wanted to be a doctor, mostly because when I would go to the doctor's office, I would see the doctors with their cool laptops that had touchscreens, and I wanted to do that when I grew up. But what got me into the engineering side is in high school, I decided to do a engineering elective, and that really pushed me into doing Project Lead the Way, and then I got into robotics. So I figured out that I really like medicine, but I also really like engineering, and I wanted to combine the two.
So, I heard that you were from Georgia Tech. I just wanted to ask, how'd you get there, and what accomplishments got you to where you are right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was very involved in robotics in high school, which I think helped a lot with my application for Georgia Tech. Obviously, Georgia Tech is a tech school, so there's a lot of engineering majors here. Computer science is really huge. So I think having that sort of STEM background really helped. But other things that I really enjoyed doing in high school was volunteering. So through robotics, I was able to do a lot of STEM volunteering at the library and
Mhm.
work with younger robotics teams. So I think that helped me get a lot of experience, and I guess I'm really proud of those accomplishments.
Mhm. So, do you have any examples of how to learn and how to study to get? Because I know that biomedical engineering is a hard field, and it's a mix of two different things. So, what did you do to study and do well in your tests and stuff like that?
Yeah, so um, I guess one thing that really helps to stand out in a college application in general is taking as many AP classes as possible. So I tried doing that as much as possible where I could fit it into my schedule. But particularly for biomedical engineering, I think what really helped me was taking those science courses. So physics or biology. I took the AP versions of those classes wherever I could. But
Mhm.
particularly in terms of doing well in class, I would do so like if I had a test, for instance, coming up in a week, I would try to start reviewing
Mhm.
a week before. Even if it wasn't reviewing the whole content, I would try to just start rehashing the material or reviewing the material so that it was in the back of my head. And I think that really helps me just gradually review for an exam so that it wasn't cramming everything the day before.
Mhm.
But apart from that, I would say try to ask questions if you're confused. I know the teachers try to help as much as possible, so definitely ask and don't be scared.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask, so are you interning anywhere, or do you have any internships right now?
Yeah, so I'm interning over the summer at Abbott, which is a healthcare company. So I'll be working with the Abbott Diabetes Care Division, and I'll be working with their freestyle Libre sensor that they have.
That's really cool. Yeah. Do you know how someone that also wants to go into the biomedical engineering field, how they could get this kind of internship?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was a Abbott High School intern. So Abbott came to Warren to recruit for their high school internship, and I think they still do that.
Mhm.
So they really like students who are really engaged in STEM, who are really passionate in STEM. Not necessarily like the top students or the brightest students, but people who are willing to put in the effort and show that passion. So
Mhm.
I would say that if you really like engineering, if you really like STEM in general, um, really try to show your passion in an interview or at any
Right.
complete.
So, are you working on any projects right now?
Yeah, I am. So right now, I'm actually doing research under a lab, and it's a unique research opportunity because I'm able to use like coding. So I'm actually coding in Python to be able to find different relationships between different pathologies that exist. So, for instance, like if I want to see what the relationship between lung disease and heart disease is, I have this program that I can run that will be able to tell me that these different proteins or these different like cells are related
Mhm.
to both heart disease and lung disease. So that's one of the projects that I'm working on as an undergraduate research assistant. But what's really cool about the BME program here at Tech is that we do a lot of like hands-on projects in our classes. So I'm currently also doing an experiment for one of my classes that's focused on trying to use electromyography to measure scoliosis. And I know those are really big words, but basically we have this circuit that we're trying to see the electrical signals in our muscles if we can detect those signals to see if people have scoliosis. Um, so it's really fun, honestly. It may not be like cutting edge research, but it's fun to be able to like solder circuits or code in MATLAB or something like
Right.
that. So I enjoy it.
I had no idea that you're like also doing like coding and like other aspects of engineering with bio. I thought it was more like bio stuff and like
Mhm.
stuff like that, but I didn't think it was also you gotta use a lot of other components of engineering. So that's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's really fun.
Do you have any like other favorite projects that you're working on, like that you've worked on in the past, or any like really big favorites that you really liked?
um, I think my favorite one so far is the scoliosis one that I
Hmm.
mentioned. But some other ones, or at least the other one that I have done, is working with a gastronomy tube. So I took a design class where we tried to redesign a gastronomy tube, and what that basically is a feeding tube that's inserted into your stomach. And typically, it's used for patients who have trouble swallowing or who are at the hospital and are really weak. But there's a lot of different issues that can happen with that tube, such as like clogging or it breaks and stuff like that. So we were
Hmm.
trying to redesign that product so that it would get rid of those problems. That was kind of cool as well.
Right. So what are you doing for like the medical side of the biomedical engineering field?
So right now, I am currently taking a cell physiology class, and previously I've taken several other classes like systems physiology. So all of those courses focus more on the biology side. So specifically, like we're learning about different cell types and different organs and so on. So it's less hands-on than, for instance, a design class or a lab class where I would be performing experiments. But
Mhm.
that's mostly more of the medicine side of things. I haven't had any experiences in research where it's like specifically medicine
Mhm.
based. So, yeah.
I know that Georgia Tech is very competitive. So what made you stand out on your college applications?
So I think having experience in robotics really helped in my college application. So in robotics, I was able to get really involved and take a lot of leadership positions, and I think that's what really made me stand out. Along with that, I was taking a lot of AP classes in high school, so I think colleges were able to see that I was trying to put in my best effort at school.
Mhm.
So I think doing involving yourself in organizations that you really enjoy, that you can get involved in and stay in for a long time, helps a lot because it shows consistency on your college application, as well
Mhm.
as you continue to progress in that organization, you tend to get more leadership opportunities, which also really stand out. So I think those things are really big, and I think that's what robotics really provided for me.
So what made biomedical engineering stand out for you when you were choosing your field?
So I was always interested in medicine, and then through high school, I was able to explore engineering. So that was one of my top choices in terms of what I wanted to major in college. But some other things that I was looking into was like mechanical engineering or
Mhm.
even electrical engineering.
Mhm.
There was a point in robotics where I was a part of the electrical team, so I was like, maybe this is a field that I wanted to do. But I think what really helped me decide what major to choose in college was exploring different companies and different job positions that were available for that field. So I was very fortunate to have internship experiences where I could speak to people who were biomedical engineering majors who are now working in the field and what type of work they
Mhm.
were doing, or a mechanical engineering major, what is he doing now? So I think those are really helpful to me to be able to figure out currently what's happening in the field and what I could potentially do in the future.
Hmm.
So I would recommend, if you can, like, talk to any relatives or any family friends who are working in fields that you're interested in. It really helps to give perspective on what you're going to be majoring in college and
Hmm.
what you would be doing in the future.
Right. And so you mentioned like help for high school students. So do you have any like projects or stuff like that people can work on as a high school student that can like excel them in the biomedical engineering field?
Absolutely, yeah. So I know it's not necessarily biomedical related, but I would definitely recommend getting some sort of coding experience.
Hmm.
Even as a biomedical engineer here, I have taken several coding classes, and it's actually a huge component of some of our design classes to have coding experience. So if you can get any sort of experience with that, that's amazing. Other than that, if you can like work with circuits, or if you can learn how to use like CADing software, anything
Hmm.
that can get you a little bit more hands-on and introduced to machining or designing, is always going to put you at a better place in your classes in college.
Thank you so much, Janvi, for taking the time to talk with us. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say thank you so much for this opportunity. And if there's anybody who's listening who has any further questions, or if they just want to connect or get some more advice, I'd be happy to help in any way. I can provide my contact information if necessary. But
Mm.
thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Janhvi Dubey for the awesome information about the biomedical engineering field, and be sure to check out our Instagram in the caption below. Feel free to ask her any questions, and check out our website to ask us any questions about interdisciplinary. Follow us at The Interdisciplinary, and please like, comment, and subscribe for more.